Welcome to this sacred ground. This is the sacred ground of the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum. And thank you for being here this morning. This is our remembrance ceremony that we have every year now for 22 years. Thank you to the Oklahoma City Fire Department who led our procession. We have several guests I'd like to introduce right now. In fact, I'd like to introduce every one of you. Thank you for being here on this special day. Special guest, United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Ben Carson. You'll hear more from him in just a few minutes. But I want you to know he was here last night for 2 hours touring our museum, learning the story of Oklahoma City, touring these sacred grounds. We're very grateful and very honored that Dr. Ben Carson is with us here today. Special Agent in charge of the United States Secret Service Office of Investigations, Caroline O'Brien Buster, is also with us. We also are very pleased to have a man that's been on these sacred grounds again and again and again. Our own U.S. Senator James Lankford. You'll hear from him in just a minute. Senator Lankford. And somebody who was on these grounds 22 years ago has been there every year, if not every week and day since. Governor Mary Fallin and First Gentleman Wade Christensen. We're so pleased to have them with us here today. And most importantly, our family members, survivors, first responders, law enforcement, and friends of those who were killed on April 19th, 1995. Wednesday, April 19th, 1995, a Wednesday just like this very morning. Where we gather today, as you know, is the site of the largest domestic terrorist attack on American soil. And we think it's an appropriate site for us to come together every year and have this sacred remembrance ceremony. We will never forget what happened on this sacred ground 22 years ago. We will always mourn and remember those that we lost. The Oklahoma City National Memorial is dedicated so that the world would never forget the beauty that arose from the evil that occurred. The beauty that arose from the evil that occurred. Few days in history show the impact of a community coming together more than April 19th, 1995. Oklahoma City showed the world you have to make resilience a part of your everyday life. And I like to say, as the chair of the board, that we turned our darkest hour into our finest hour in Oklahoma City. The way we pulled together and came together. The president who was here then, 22 years ago, said, Oklahoma City, you broke our hearts, but you lifted our spirits, based on how we all came together. That's the wonderful nature of Oklahoma City. And I must say, as Dr. Ben Carson said to me last night, why can't the Oklahoma standard be the American standard? Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate those words. "22 years later, we continue to gather on this date so we can remember and also teach the lessons we've all learned. Each year, weather permitting, God's in his heaven. All's right with the world. Thank you for the weather. Each year, weather permitting, we sit next to the 318-foot reflecting pool in front of us, which symbolically reflects just how far we've all come together. When you tour the museum and stand at the Memorial Overlook, and if you'd humor me right now, the glass overlook is brand new in the last year, the Memorial Overlook. When you tour the museum and you stand at the Memorial Overlook, you see these grounds, these sacred grounds from a new perspective, with a continued sense of hope and spirit of community. That's the most beautiful view of Oklahoma City there is from that overlook. But hope doesn't come without a sense of responsibility. And one responsibility we should always keep sacred is the anniversary of April 19th, when we all come together to reflect as we are doing here today. My first introduction. Shortly after the bombing, local psychologist Dr. Kay Gable was quoted as saying, "People, when they go through a time like this, they discover strengths they never knew they had, and many times come out on higher ground with more depth and maturity and power in their lives than they ever had before." Dr. Gable was one of several psychologists who came to every family and survivor meeting during the Memorial Foundation formation, design, and building process. Every meeting. The lady you're getting ready to hear from. The last Monday of every month for the first 5 years, Kay and others joined us in these very important meetings to create what you see here today. When we opened the memorial in 2000 and the museum in 2001, Kay helped gather mental health professionals to be with us. She and so many of her peers have stood with us for the past 22 years, and we want to say thank you to all those folks in the mental health community that have helped us endure what we've gone through for the past 22 years. Here to share our mission statement with us today is Dr. Kay Gable. I welcome her to the podium. You got it?
Thank you, Mike. We come here to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those who are changed forever. May all those who leave here know the impact of violence. May this memorial offer comfort, hope, strength, and serenity. Please join me in observing 168 seconds of silence.
I think we're done here. Okay. Thank you. You got it? Thank you, Kay. And now, a comment about the survivor tree right behind you. It's bigger and stronger than ever. The survivor tree is a symbol of human resilience. As a tribute to renewal and rebirth, the inscription around the tree reads, "The spirit of this city and this nation will not be defeated. Our deeply rooted faith sustains us." Through the actions of others, we have been witness to this faith, like in the service of Pastor Mark McAdowell. He has been the pastor of First Church across the street to our east for the past 10 years. The bells you just heard ring after our 168 seconds of silence came from the newly restored bell tower at First Church. Pastor McAdowell is leaving us to pastor a growing congregation in Eden, Oklahoma. And today we have asked him to share his faith by blessing us one more time. Please welcome to the podium, Pastor McAdowell. I'll shake your hand.
If you would, please join me in prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, we've gathered on this sacred soil to remember the life-altering events of April 19th, 1995, and all those impacted on that day who are now etched in each of our memories forever. We celebrate lives well lived, whether long in duration or short, and choose to declare with the psalmist, "This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." The joy of the Lord truly is our strength today and always. We acknowledge our own weakness and rely on your unchanging strength, O Lord. We pause to give thanks again for the extraordinary brave people, firefighters, police officers, and first responders who ran into harm's way for the sake of others to rescue and recover. The innocent men, women, and children in the Murrah Federal Building on that now infamous day. The world watched as Oklahomans revealed their deep faith, untiring perseverance, and generous spirit. We reserve and esteem the name hero for each one, and thank you, God, for their heroic actions. We also remember Oklahomans, Americans, and the world's citizens who offered their prayers and loving support during a most challenging time for our city, state, nation, and yes, world. Their great expressions of love held us up when we were not sure if we could. We're not the same people we were 22 years ago. Though once victims, by God's grace, we've become overcomers. Many of those with fragile or no hope have found hope once again. We live every day with a fresh understanding of the amazing gift it is and give thanks to you, our Heavenly Father. Comfort us once again today and help each of us live life to the fullest in honor of those who cannot. I pray this day in the life-changing name of Jesus Christ, who has conquered death and offered us all life. To God be the glory. Amen and amen.
Stay right there, as you know. Okay, I have a very special gift for a very wonderful guy. In 2013, we lost a branch from the survivor tree in a major windstorm, you may recall. We had our friends at the Forest Heritage Center carve this wood from the survivor tree. Today, we give these symbolic praying hands to Mark for his new journey as a simple thank you for all the blessings he's given us over the past decade as our neighbor right here. I want to pass this on to you right now.
Thank you, Mark.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you. I'm going to come see you up there. I'm going to come see you up there. Thank you. The Oklahoma City Police and Fire Departments have played a vital role in our 22 years of recovery and rebuilding. Today we are very honored to have Justin Eccles with the Oklahoma City Police Department to sing our national anthem. Please stand for the raising of the colors by the combined honor guard from the Oklahoma City Police, Fire, and IMSA. The Oklahoma City Police Department, Fire Departments, and IMSA, followed by the singing of our Star-Spangled Banner. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good job. Please be seated. Thank you, Master Sergeant Eccles, for your beautiful tribute to our nation and for your service to Oklahoma City and our country. Please, one more time. Thank you. So, a lady who shows up every time we have a tragedy in Oklahoma, I believe, as a messenger of hope. She spent many days at this site 22 years ago as your lieutenant governor, comforting family members, participating in briefings, and today she returns as the governor of the state of Oklahoma, Governor Mary Fallin. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike, and thank you for chairing the foundation of the Oklahoma City Memorial and all that you do for Oklahoma City. We appreciate you. It's a great honor to be here today to remember our Oklahoma families, to not forget the tremendous loss that occurred upon this site, but to also remember the tremendous hope, the inspiration that we saw come from Oklahoma City and the state of Oklahoma. Dr. Carson, Secretary Carson, we are so glad to have you in Oklahoma City. I had the opportunity to spend some time with the Secretary this summer, and we are so blessed to have a man of great faith and character and integrity that is serving in our United States government. Doctor, welcome to Oklahoma. "22 years ago, in a moment of time, the state of Oklahoma was changed. Then, just as this morning, I had the opportunity, along with 1,000 other fellow Oklahomans, to be at the Cox Convention Center for our day of prayer. And then, just as today, on a Wednesday, right after Easter, little did we know how much we would need to have prayer, to read scripture, to hear from speakers about the incredible things that God does in our lives and will do in our lives. We left that morning having no idea how much we would need to lean into our faith, how much would be stolen from us that day. And death broke our hearts that day. But the one thing that death could not take from us was the memory of the outpouring of love and compassion that we saw in our state and in our nation. 9/02 and the event that happened here was unimaginable. It was shocking. We couldn't believe that something like this could happen to our people in our state and in our nation. And yes, we did lose 168 lives and 19 children that fateful day. But we are here today to remember the hope, the healing, the inspiration, the generosity, the love, the compassion of our people, and to tell the families that we have not forgotten and we will never forget the suffering, the grief, not only of the families, but those who lost so many and those who were injured. And we know that there are people here today that still feel that loss just like it happened yesterday. But we want them to know that we remember and we will never forget, and we will always stand with them. But the other thing that we saw come out of our tragedy in Oklahoma was what became known as the Oklahoma Standard. People helping people, people going above and beyond, people doing what needed to be done for the days, the weeks, the months, and even the years that followed after our attack. We showed to the rest of the nation what hope and inspiration, what kindness, compassion, generosity looks like. And today, more than ever, I think we need to be reminded of those things. Yes, we grieved together. We prayed together. We rebuilt together. And we healed together in our state. We saw so much happen at this site, whether it was the first responders who were here immediately, to the charities that gave so generously and volunteered their time, to our faith leaders and how they led us through such a very challenging time in our nation, and how so many lent a hand to help us on this site. And I saw it particularly here 22 years ago. I can still remember a couple of instances where it went out on the news stations that the rescue workers didn't have enough steel-toed boots to be able to go through the rubble and to be able to continue their rescue efforts. And a man off the street drove up just right on the side of these roads and took his boots off from work and gave it to the rescue workers and said, "Here, you need these more than I need it." I can still remember children across our schools in our state that collected pennies to help rebuild the daycare and to help us with the different services that we needed in our state. From the young to the old, we saw Oklahomans respond. It was certainly a very dark hour in our state's history, but it was also a moment of light for our nation. To see the spirit of resilience, to see the compassion, the generosity, the never give up spirit that Oklahoma has demonstrated. And yes, our faith was tested, but we also know that we can always count on God to help us through these challenging times. And we also know that we can count on the spirit of Oklahoma. And that's what we saw in the Oklahoma Standard. And today, the Oklahoma Standard is just as strong as it was 22 years ago on April 19th. But we must not let our fellow Oklahomans and our nation forget what that Oklahoma Standard stands for, all the things that I just mentioned. And we also must continue to remind our children so they can share that strength, compassion, hope, love, the Oklahoma Standard with future generations of children to come. God bless you, and thank you for joining us here today as we continue to remember those that lost so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. The governor just said something I consider profound when she said we have to remind our children. So one of our missions here at the Memorial and Museum, as you know, is with John Rochelle's leadership, we had a campaign here to raise money. It was called the 903 Fund, the future of the Memorial Museum. If you haven't been in, We have interactive exhibits now. We have a STEM exhibit. And we have a brand new initiative. As the governor said, we have to remind our children. We now have every Oklahoma City high school student coming through the Memorial Museum, starting with every 9th grader in this city. We've had over 2,000 9th graders in this city come through the Memorial Museum just this school year to see the unique history of our city, how we turned our darkest hour into our finest hour. We have generous sponsors that have paid the transportation of all those kids, public and private schools, to come through this sacred place. The governor said we have to remind our children. We have to teach our children. We're trying to do that. I'll never forget one young lady came out of the museum and they asked her, "What did you learn?" She goes, "I've learned that violence is never the answer. Violence is never the answer." So we have lessons that we teach here every day. Thank you, Governor. I appreciate exactly what you just said about the young people. And now somebody, I'm not just saying this, been here again and again, even for the magnificent Memorial Marathon that'll be on the 30th of this month with 25,000 runners from all over the country, from all over the world, will be starting right here, right over there. He's been here with his wife and 2 beautiful daughters, the 3 leading ladies in his life. United States Senator James Lankford has been a good friend. He's here all the time. Today, for the remembrance ceremonies, for the Memorial Marathon, and all the days in between. Today, our Senator, James Lankford, will introduce this year's special guest. James Lankford, Senator. You're always here.
I would add with what Mike and what the governor were saying about the next generation, we lose track of the fact that the college students graduating this year at 22 years old were not born or had just been born when this occurred. So it is important to be able to maintain this. To the families and friends of the 168 fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, brothers and sisters, of all those that we lost and the resilient survivors, and to the loving friends and families, my thoughts and the thoughts of the still grieving nation are with you. We have not forgotten. We said we would not, and we have not. Even as our hearts are broken, I remind us that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and He continues to fulfill that promise in our lives every day. We've seen through these 22 years how He's lifted us up and how He's bound us together, and we are forever on the journey together towards healing. When we come together to pray and remember, we both honor them and we continue to move forward. And we declare with one voice again that evil does not win. Oklahoma City was truly forever changed that day. But we've continued to revitalize both our families and our lives in this city. And I'm grateful for what has happened in the leadership of the memorial, in the museum, and what has been done day after day, week after week, to be able to remember well. I do have the honor today to be able to welcome and introduce Dr. Ben Carson, who's the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Dr. Carson joins us today to honor the 35 men and women who went to work in their HUD office that day on April 19, 1995, but they didn't make it home to have dinner with their family that night. That same day, 133 men and women were also taken from their loved ones. Dr. Carson is dedicated to improving the outcomes of our nation's low-income and inner-city families. His faith, his compassion, his love for our nation are the very qualities that we need to empower Americans to rise out of poverty. Dr. Carson has served as the Director of Pediatric Neurosurgery at the Johns Hopkins Children's Center. We appreciate his participation in today's ceremony. He has a very busy schedule, but to be able to set it aside and be with us today is truly an honor. So please welcome with me United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary Ben Carson.
Well, thank you so much, Senator Lankford, Governor Fallin, Mr. Turpin, and all of those who've been involved with this astonishing memorial. Now, this is not just the Oklahoma Memorial, it's a national memorial. And the things that happened here 22 years ago affected us as a nation. I'm humbled to be here today with you, observing the anniversary and honoring the memory of 168 Americans who lost their lives 22 years ago today. This great crime, not only on Oklahoma City, but on America, is something that still echoes in the memories of my colleagues at the Department of Housing and Urban Development, where we lost 35 of our brothers and sisters who've dedicated their lives to helping other Americans. In remembrance and tribute, at the national headquarters in Washington, D.C., there's a garden dedicated to those that perished here that day. And like in Oklahoma City, there's also a memorial to the children who were lost in the daycare center that day. But this observance is about more than our losses. It's also about the survivors and revisiting the cherished memories of those who work so hard every day to ensure a just and free society, a society that protects the most vulnerable people in our communities. I had the privilege of a meeting with several survivors yesterday and hearing their incredibly touching stories about that day. It's also about remembering the promise and the joy of the young and the innocent, and through our sorrow, building a nation that they would be proud to call home, where every little one is loved and is safe. No terrorist or weapon could ever take away that strength of purpose or innocence of character. None of those who died here, none of those who survived, none of the fellow Americans will allow something like this to destroy who we are as a nation. You know, as a pediatric neurosurgeon, I so much enjoyed playing with those cute little innocent babies. It was fantastic. It was one of the best parts of the day to go to the clinic and see these little babies. But you know, we all started out as cute little babies. Even Timothy McVeigh started out as a cute little baby that brought smiles to the faces of all of those around him. And you have to ask yourself, what happened? What went wrong? You know, every one of us has an opportunity to be an influence on all the babies that are born today. The babies that were born last year, that were born 10 years ago, and are little children today. Because it is the experiences in life that will form who they become, what their personalities are. Will they embrace the American spirit? Or will they succumb to the forces of division and hatred, as Timothy McVeigh did? You know, my wife today is in Chicago, opening up a couple of reading rooms, which are places where a lot of the children, particularly, come from Title I schools. They come from homes with no books. They go to a school with no library. They don't become readers. They don't grasp the significance of the world beyond the place where they live. So we put these reading rooms in, and it changes their lives. But also tonight there'll be a banquet celebrating the children who achieved Carson Scholar status. They achieved at the highest academic levels, but that's only half of the award. The other award is for humanitarian service to their fellow man. They have to demonstrate that they care about other people. Because think about the heritage of our country. Think about your predecessors right here in Oklahoma, who lived in communities, in many cases, that were hundreds of miles away from any other community. what was the spirit that allowed them to thrive? It was the willingness to work together, to share their skills, to be compassionate. If somebody got mauled by a bear or even killed, everybody else pitched in and took care of their family. That is the spirit that characterized America in the past. And the question that we should ask ourselves on this day, when we memorialize those who dedicated their lives to helping their fellow man, is which message will we take? Which America will we become? That America that is inspired by love and compassion and a willingness to put out a helping hand to those in need? Or the America that listens to the purveyors of hatred, the my way or the highway group, who have caused such division? Senator Lankford was talking about the students who are graduating from college today, 22 years old, the same time that this tragedy occurred. What are they being taught on the university campuses? Are they being taught to love everyone, including those with whom they disagree with? Or are they being taught that it's okay to shut those people down and to hate them? Two different Americas. And the question is, which is the one that we want? And at HUD now, we are looking to be a place that is about more than just putting a roof over people's head. It's about developing communities with education, with health care, with all the things that are needed to nurture and develop not only communities, but to develop individuals. Because our people are our most precious resource. And do we just house them, or do we develop them? Because if we use our intellect and we use our resources to develop our people, they become part of the engine. And if we don't, they become part of the load. If we extend a helping hand and we are truly fair and just, and we use the values and principles that made America great, we can get them moving in the correct direction, which is up. We must stop the hatred and strife and recognize that the strength of America is our unity. It always has been our unity. People who came here from every part of this planet, our ancestors. But we have come to recognize that we're all in the same boat. And if part of the boat sinks, eventually the rest of it goes down too. And that's why we must be concerned about every individual. And what an opportunity we have to take away from that tragedy 22 years ago and think about our fellow Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice. Will we allow it to be a sacrifice in vain and listen to the purveyors of hatred and division? Will we allow it to be a seed that will nourish the strength and the unity of America, that will allow us to grasp the godly principles of loving your fellow man, of caring about your neighbor, of developing your God-given talents so that you become useful to the people around you, of having values and principles that govern our lives? If we do that, we will truly have one nation under God indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for letting me remember with you, and God bless America.
Wonderful words by a great guy, a great American leader who's been here again and again. He spoke just 2 years ago here at St. Luke's Methodist. You may have been there, Dr. Ben Carson. I got to visit with him then. He spoke about babies today, and I can't help but tell you I'm a new grandfather, Ren Kara Turpin. I can't help but talk about what Walt Whitman said. A baby is God's opinion that the world should go on. So thank you, Dr. Carson, everything you said about the future and our children. And I got to tell you, last night in the museum with Kerry Watkins, who's been employed here for 22 years, our very first employee, our executive director, Kerry Watkins, and Dr. Ben Carson in this museum for a couple of hours. To hear them talk, I feel like I could put those two on the road and they could change America. Because they talked about working together, coming together. And we talked about how Frank Keating, the governor 22 years ago, was a Republican, and Bill Clinton, the president, was a Democrat. But they both went to Georgetown together. They both knew each other. So you had a Republican governor, a Democrat president coming together right here on this sacred ground 22 years ago. All about right and wrong and not right and left. Bringing this country together. So I appreciate everything Ben Carson just said. The more we can come together, so much the better. And I think we're a great lesson for that right here in Oklahoma City. I move on and talk about the Oklahoma Standard. It was Judge Alfred P. Murrah who once said, the greatest rewards in living come from living outside and beyond oneself. The Murrah Federal Building, named after Judge Alfred P. Murrah, who once said, the greatest rewards in living come from living outside and beyond oneself. This is what we saw in the inherent goodness of Oklahomans that shine brightest in the wake of the bombing, when cars became ambulances, strangers became neighbors, and a community united itself after an event that was meant to tear us all apart. The way we reacted, the way we came together, as you know, became the Oklahoma Standard. At the 20th anniversary of the bombing, we announced the Oklahoma Standard program, where thousands of businesses, organizations, families, and individuals committed themselves to acts of service, honor, and kindness. In the second year, the inaugural Oklahoma Standard Award was presented to Girl Scout Katie Pryor. Many of you were there at that banquet where we honored her. A young Girl Scout, Katie Pryor, she founded her own nonprofit after realizing there weren't enough trumpet players to play taps at veterans' funerals. The greatest generation, these veterans were dying, and at their funerals, there was nobody to play taps at their funerals. My own father was a World War II vet, invasion of southern France, Bronze Star. At his funeral, I was so disappointed that we played taps on a record player at the military cemetery over in Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. So a young Girl Scout in Oklahoma put together a group of people that now plays taps at veterans' funerals all over America. That's the Oklahoma Standard, ladies and gentlemen. Stories like Katie's are occurring all around our state. This year, we are asking communities around Oklahoma to join us and find and honor those individuals who go above and beyond, like Katie, and to honor them at their annual Community Chamber of Commerce annual awards banquets. This allows us to take the Oklahoma Standard to all 77 counties. We know there are great people doing exceptional work across the state, and we want to know those stories and recognize Oklahomans for doing extraordinary things every single day in communities across the great state of Oklahoma. We are hoping local chambers from across the state will choose an individual to honor locally with an Oklahoma Standard Award. If you know of an unsung hero, in your community, encourage them to submit their acts of service, honor, and kindness to their local Chamber of Commerce for the statewide Oklahoma Standard Award. And now, faith has played a part of our story since 9/03 on April 19th, 1995. Look around this neighborhood. This site is flanked by wonderful churches. St. Paul's to the north, the First United Methodist to the east, and St. Joseph's Old Cathedral to our west, all of which sustained damage in the bombing 22 years ago. But that day, nearly every church, synagogue, and mosque in Oklahoma City worked together to begin rebuilding this city. A recovery, a rebuilding, a renaissance in Oklahoma City. Today, looking back at the path they blazed and how they continue to help us, we see what faith can do. We see what faith can do.
Everybody falls sometimes. Gotta find the strength to rise from the ashes and make a new beginning. Anyone can feel the ache. You think it's more than you can take, but you're stronger, stronger than you know. Don't you give up now. The sun will soon be shining. You gotta face the clouds to find the silver lining. And I've seen dreams that move the mountains, hope that doesn't ever end, even when the sky is falling. I've seen miracles just happen, and silent prayers get answered, broken hearts become brand new, and that's what faith can do. It doesn't matter what you've heard, impossible is not a word, it's just a reason for someone not to try. And everybody's scared to death when they decide to take that step out on the waters, but it will be alright. Life is so much more than what your eyes are seeing. You will find your ways if you keep believing. I've seen dreams that move the mountains, hope that doesn't ever end, even when the sky is falling. I've seen miracles just happen, and silent prayers get answered, broken hearts become brand new. That's what faith can do. Overcome the odds when you don't have a chance, when the world says that you can't, it'll tell you that you can. 'Cause I've seen dreams that move the mountains, hope that doesn't ever end, even when the sky is falling. I've seen miracles just happen, and silent prayers get answered, broken hearts become brand new. That's what faith can do. That's what faith can do. Even if you fall sometimes, you will have the strength to rise.
We come here to remember those at the Oklahoma Water Resources Board building. Trudy Jean Rigney. Robert N. Chipman. We remember those at the Athenian Building Job Corps. Catherine Elizabeth Ridley. Anita Christine Hightower. We remember rescue worker Rebecca Needham Anderson. We remember those who were killed in the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, U.S. Secret Service, 9th floor. Alan G. Witcher. Kathy Lynn Seidel. Linda G. McKinney. Mickey B. Maroney. Donald Ray Leonard. Cynthia L. Brown. We remember our friends and family with the Drug Enforcement Administration, 9th floor. Kenneth Glenn McCullough. Carrie Ann Lenz and baby Michael James Lenz III. My mother, Rona Lynn Keener Chafee. Carol June Chip Fields. Shelley D. Bland.
We come to remember those who were killed in the Department of Housing and Urban Development, 8th floor. Clarence Eugene Wilson, Sr. Our mother, Frances Fran Ann Williams. Michael D. Weaver. David Jack Walker. Jules A. Valdez. Leora Lee Sells. Lanny Lee David Scroggins. Antonio Tony C. Reyes. Dr. George Michael Howard, DMV. Susan Jane Farrell. Kimberly K. Clark. Donald Earl Burns Sr. David Neil Burkett. Peter R. Villanoza. Ted L. Allen.
We continue to remember our friends and family with the Department of Housing and Urban Development, 7th floor. Joanne Wittenberg. John Carl Van Ness III. John Thomas Stewart. Terry Smith Reese. Patricia Ann Nix. Betsy J. Beebe Magano. James A. McCarthy II. Mary Leisure Renty. Teresa Leah Taylor Lauderdale. Anne Krimborg. Thompson Eugene Jean Hodges Jr. J. Colleen Giles. Linda Louise Florence. Judy J. Fro Fisher. Castine Brooks Hearn Devereaux. Diana Lynn Day. Kim R. Cousins. Andrea Yvette Blanton. Diane E. Hollingsworth Althouse. We continue to remember our friends and family with the Department of Housing and Urban Development, 5th floor. Paul Gregory Beatty Brocksterman.
We remember our friends of the U.S. Marine Corps recruiting 6th floor. Captain Randolph A. Guzman, USMC. Sergeant Benjamin Lorenzo Davis, USMC. We remember those with U.S. Customs 5th floor. Claude Arthur Medeiros, SSA. Paul D. Ice, Senior Special Agent. We remember our friends and family with the Department of Agriculture, 5th floor. Rita Bender Long. Carol Sue Khalil. Doris Adele Higginbottom. Richard Dick Cummins. Dr. Margaret L. Peggy Clark. James E. Bowles. Olin Burl Bloomer. We remember those with U.S. Army Recruiting Battalion, 4th floor. Wanda Lee Watkins. Kayla Marie Titsworth. Dolores D. Stratton. Victoria Vicky L. Son. John C. Moss III. And our mother, Peggy Louise Holland.
Karen Gist Carr. Sergeant First Class Lola Bolden, U.S. Army. We remember our friends with the Department of Transportation, Federal Highway, 4th floor. John A. Youngblood. Johnny Allen Wade. Rick L. Tomlin. Michelle A. Reeder. Jerry Lee Parker. Renata Ann Newberry Woodbridge. James K. Martin, Larry James Jones, Michael Carrillo, Mark Allen Bolte, Lucio Alleman, Jr.
We remember our friends and family with the Federal Employees Credit Union, 3rd floor. Tracy Joe Mathis Warden, Virginia M. Thompson, Victoria Jeanette Texter, Karen Howell Shepard, Sonia Lynn Sanders, Christy Rosas, Claudine Ritter, Jill Diane Randolph, Frankie Ann Merrill, Claudette Duke Meek, Kathy Cagle Linen, Valerie Jo Kelsch, Alvin J. Justice, our mother, Christy Yolanda Jenkins,
Robin Ann Huff, and baby Amber Denise Huff, Linda Colleen Housley, Sheila R. Gigger Driver, and baby Gregory N. Driver II. Jamie Falkowski Genzer, Kathy A. Finley, Kimberly Ruth Burgess, Woodrow Clifford Woody Brady,
We remember our friends and family with the Defense Security Service, 3rd floor. Robert G. Westbury, Larry L. Turner, my mother, Norma Jean Johnson, Peter L. DeMaster, Harley Richard Conningham. We remember our visitor on the 2nd floor, Scott D. Williams.
We remember our friends and family from America's Kids Child Development Center, 2nd floor. Colton Wade Smith, Chase Dalton Smith, my brother Dominique Reve London Johnson, Blake Brian Kennedy, Wanda Lee Howell, Kevin Lee Goschel II, Tevin DeAndre Garrett, Tyler Santoy Eves, Brenda Faye Daniels, JC Ray Coyne, Elijah S. Coverdale, Aaron M. Coverdale, Antonio and Asara Cooper Jr., Anthony Christopher Cooper II, Dana Leanne Cooper, Zachary Taylor Chavez, Danielle Nicole Bell, Miss Bailey Onman.
We remember our family and friends from the General Services Administration, first floor. Michael L. Loudenslager, Stephen Douglas Curry. We remember our friends from Social Security Administration, first floor. Sharon Louise Wood Chestnut, W. Stephen Williams, Julie Marie Welch, Robert N. Walker, Jr., Luther H. Trainer, LaRue A. Trainer, Michael George Thompson, Charlotte Andrea Lewis Thomas, Emilio Tapia, Eula Lee Mitchell, Derwin W. Miller, Courtney J. McRaven, Reverend Gilbert X. Martinez, Robert Lee Luster, Jr., Aurelia Donna Luster, Airman First Class Lakeisha Richardson Levy, Raymond Lee Johnson, Jean Nutting Hurlbert, Dr. Charles E. Hurlbert, Thomas Lynn Hawthorne, Sr.
We continue to remember our friends and family with the Social Security Administration.
My dad.
And my brother-in-law,
Ronald Vernon Harding, Sr.
Cheryl E. Hammond, Ethel L. Griffin, Margaret Betterton Goodson, Laura Jane Garrison, Mary Ann Fritzler, Don Fritzler, Ashley Megan Eccles, Catherine Louise Cregan, Gabrielle D.L. Bruce, Peachlin Bradley, Carol Louise Bowers, Cassandra K. Booker, Olita C. Biddy, Paola Battle, Calvin Battle, Sandra G. Sandy Avery, Pamela Cleveland Argo, Richard A. Allen, Teresa Antoinette Alexander.
A round of applause, please, for our readers. Thank you for doing it. They make it so special every year. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. With God's help, with your help, I believe this city, this community has achieved victory over victimization. Please learn more about our story of recovery in this city in that museum, which is open today for free, thanks to Cox Communications. And lastly, I want to thank the governor, Senator Lankford, and most importantly, Dr. Ben Carson for being with us here today. He honors us with his presence. Thank you, Dr. Carson. And thank you for being here.